Good evening, everyone. Welcome to At Lafayette Live here on Monday, December 1st, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us here on a Monday evening, on the first Monday evening of December. Well, the first evening of December at that. I hope everybody enjoyed your Thanksgiving, ate all of the food. I was going to say ate all of the turkey, but if you came to our Thanksgiving, you would not have been eating all the turkey because, well, alas, yes, horror of horrors, we are that family that doesn't serve turkey. We're a ham family, but whatever it is that you happen to have eaten at Thanksgiving, whoever you got to share the holiday with, I hope you had a lot of fun. And I tell you what, for the first time in a lot of years, we ran out of leftovers fairly quickly. I think a combination of the boys getting bigger and cooking the right amount of food helps too sometimes. So anyway, we had a nice relaxing holiday weekend. We went out on Friday and got the tree, something that we do every year. Not that it's a secret, I almost hate to, but I do almost hate to say it because it is so popular. But we go every year out to Cassin's tree farm here on the west side, here in West Lafayette, and go pick out and cut our own tree every year. It's been a tradition of our family forever. So we went out and did that. We had our decorating party, got the house all ready for Christmas. I'm still out there working on Christmas lights. I'll probably be out there working on Christmas lights until Christmas at the current rate that we're going. But alas, there are worse things in the world. So thanks again for joining us here on Monday. And if you've never joined us before and you're like, what the heck am I watching? Well, first off, I'm Jeff Gooch with the Russell Company powered by At Properties. And yes, I'm a realtor here in the Greater Lafayette area. Love to help you buy or sell. If you're looking for the perfect home, if you're looking to upsize, downsize, right size, invest, whatever it might be, I'd love to help you with your real estate needs. You can go to LafayetteReal.com/YouTube and fill out the form. And let's go check things out together. But enough of that for now. What we do here on At Lafayette Live every Monday is we talk about what's going on here in the Greater Lafayette area. And I've got a pretty wide definition of the Greater Lafayette area: Lafayette and West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, Benton County, White County. I'm going to leave counties out, so I'll stop there. But all the surrounding counties, development news, that's always a big deal. You know, what's going on, what businesses are coming, what businesses are leaving, what new housing is being built, how much new housing we need, what does the real estate market look like. We go on some cool home tours. Those are the sorts of things that we do. And while I say that we're here every Monday, I actually took last week off to start getting ready for the holidays. So not so much a backup on news, but this week is definitely a little bit development heavy as opposed to cool, fun things to do out in the community heavy. But I will lead off with this coming Saturday is the Lafayette Christmas Parade. It is the 99th annual Lafayette Christmas Parade. It is Indiana's largest nighttime parade. Yes, a nighttime parade on December 6th. It can't be quite brisk out there, but it is really, really cool. Runs down Main Street. This year it is running from west to east. It will start at Greeley Plaza and run down to 11th Street, I believe. Somewhere around there. Somewhere between 9th and 11th Street, I believe, is the eastern end where they turn off. And it goes on for a very, very long time. They actually moved the start time up this year to, I think it's 5 o'clock. Yeah, I think we're hosting a party downtown for this, and I think we said the party starts at 4 o'clock to be ready for the 5 o'clock party. But it will go rather into the night. I'm not sure, this is not the official word. I bet it goes to 8 o'clock based on past years, maybe even longer. So bundle up, come downtown to Main Street in Lafayette this Saturday, December 6th for the 99th annual Lafayette Christmas Parade. So that's the fun thing to do this week that I want to talk about. Now we'll get into development news and news of things coming here to the area. The first one on the list is not perhaps so much development in that traditional sense of, you know, here's a new neighborhood that's coming, here's a new rezone that's been requested for a large factory or whatever. This one's really kind of fun. Columbian Park Zoo, I talk about Columbian Park Zoo a lot, is really a diamond in the rough, just an absolute gem of a zoo and a pretty awesome urban style park here in Lafayette. I know that some people might laugh and say Lafayette urban. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, in comparison to Chicago and LA and New York, certainly not urban. Perhaps slightly more similar to Indianapolis, and I know I'm stretching there. I'm mostly teasing Indianapolis there. But yeah, a park in a city, which Lafayette is. They have announced that work is going to start at a new primate exhibit. If you've ever been out to Columbian Park, they have a pretty awesome. Well, pretty awesome is not the word I want to use. They have one of the largest sections, I guess I should say, is that they have several species of primates. And I got to say, the exhibits are a little depressing. They're certainly dated, and so they're getting some love. They're going to spend $7.2 million on a new primate house that is expected to be completed in about a year, in January of 2027. 4 habitats for 4 species. They've got spider monkeys, gibbons, lemurs, and a 4th species. There's going to be, of course, a management building, a playground for the kids to help learn about primates. Here is an artist's rendering of what this is going to look like. There you go. So I think that's a lot more interesting, both for the humans and for the primates. So go check that out. Not next summer, but the summer after. I mean, you should still go check out Columbian Park Zoo next summer. They've closed for the year. That is something that happens in Lafayette. Unfortunately, things do close for the winter. All right, moving on. But before we move on, have you hit the subscribe button yet? I bet you haven't. The statistics show that you haven't. So hit the subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss any of the videos here on the Lafayette Reel, and every Monday on At Lafayette Live. The downside of multiple monitors is it seems like my window always opens on the wrong monitor. Yeah, I'm a Mac user, for all you PC guys, and for all the things that I love about it. The one thing that I don't love is the multi-monitor management is not fantastic. So if you see me looking away, that's all that's going on there, is I'm just looking at getting my windows in the right place so that I can talk to you like I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I do know what I'm talking about, usually, mostly. Okay, some of the time. But, one thing that I don't do is I don't commit it to memory. The Journal and Courier had an article a couple of weeks ago, and they did a great job. And this is something that we've touched on little bits of throughout the last year, but there are now, I believe, 6 hotels coming to the Greater Lafayette area, and I just thought that was an interesting thing to talk about. There are 4 that are going to be built within the next year. There's going to be a second hotel property next to the DoubleTree that's over on Progress Drive, kind of over by Walmart on the east side. It's going to be True by Hilton. 6 stories, adding 83 rooms to hotels here in the Greater Lafayette area. Spring Hill Suites by Marriott is going to build a new hotel on South Creasy. It's kind of an interesting location for one, kind of over there by Sam's. I guess that we're kind of at the point that you just got to go where the land is available. And, if you've ever been up and down State Street and Creasy and all through there, it's there is not a whole lot left. So it's either take what's available or buy something and tear it down. But that's going to be going in. That's going to have 96 rooms that will break ground next November and go online in March of 28. So that's a little ways in the future. And then over by the Meijer, on the east side, there's the row of hotels there just south of Meijer, that kind of on the frontage road on Meijer Drive is actually the name of that frontage road. Hyatt Hotels is going to open Hyatt Place. They're going to break ground in September. Again, completion in about March of 28, 105 rooms. And then in West Lafayette, Marriott is going to open a courtyard on Brown Street. This is part of the new development area there amongst everything that's going up. Groundbreaking again, March of 26, opening a little faster on this one, October of 27. Check the address on that one. I think I might have my streams crossed. Yep, no, I was correct on that. And then I believe there's also a hotel coming. Yes, there is also a hotel coming to the Research Park, a Holiday Inn Express. Don't have dates on that one in front of me, but a lot of new hotels coming to the area. I know some people might look around and go, we need new hotels? Try booking a hotel on a football weekend. If you can, you might need to go take a second mortgage on your house in order to do it. More hotels is really just an economic sign of the growth of the economy of Greater Lafayette. People want to come here. People need to come here. People are coming for business. People are coming because they are, visiting one of the manufacturers, factories, labs here in our community. You got senior management that's coming to visit. You have engineers that come to visit. You certainly have lots of people coming to visit Purdue, obviously, for football and basketball, but new student visits, people coming from around the country and indeed the world. So I take it as a sign of our healthy economy that so many new hotels are coming to the area. And try not to roll your eyes too much at yes, there's another hotel coming. This one fits a little bit more into the area of controversial, but before we talk about controversial, it's not controversial, hitting the like and subscribe button, because it means a lot to me that you're here every Monday, and I would like YouTube to know that you appreciate us enough to hit that subscribe button. Okay. The West Lafayette Country Club. About windows. The West Lafayette Country Club in West Lafayette, it was the Elks Country Club, has been closed since the end of the 2024 season. The owners who bought it from the Elks agreed to run it as a golf course through 2020. They actually ran it, the new owners actually ran it as a golf course through 2024. And in 11 years, the place never turned a profit. So now they want to redevelop it. And that's been very controversial for those in the area. Part of that land sits in a flood zone, and it is also right next to you ever just draw a blank? Capilano. It is right next to Capilano, which basically has one way in and one way out, and that has flooded. So I know that they have had concerns about that. And in addition, the neighbors around the area have expressed concerns about the flooding and the flood zone. There has been some amount of concern expressed over the fact that they want to go R1B on the zoning to get slightly higher density single family residences in this plot of land. But, when we talk about affordable housing, that's really one of the levers that you can pull on. You can reduce the lot sizes, you can reduce the house sizes a little bit, make them slightly denser. We're not building McMansions everywhere so that people can buy a house. Now, is that starting price affordable? We can debate that, but at the end of the day, the market is the market. But anyway, where I am going with all of this is that this went before the Area Plan Commission in their last meeting in November, and was denied, but their recommendation is just advisory, So it goes on to the appropriate executive body, and in this case, it's the Tippecanoe County Commissioners, who looked at it and decided today, during their meeting this morning in the Tippecanoe County office building, to vote yes on the rezone to bring this into R1B. Now, they were pretty honest, forthright, and I think even blunt about the fact that this is just a first step. This land, by right, as it stands right now, as the lawyer for the current owners said, by right, without needing any permissions, could be used for CAFO, mobile home park, solar fields, and a number of other issues. Another several things by right that could go there that maybe don't quite fit in with the character of the area around it anymore. So residential kind of seems like the best use of it, giving the alternatives. We can argue about should we let can we let land sit open, but in capitalist America, no, is the short answer. We need to build homes. The people that own this land want to develop it and or sell it to a developer. So the county commissioners did indeed vote yes. Now, what they said is that this is just the first step. It is not that they're going to go out and break ground on all these homes tomorrow. They still have to go through drainage. They still have to go through approval processes, drainage processes, highway and department approvals. Once they get all the sites, all the site planning done and everything. And it is not a slam dunk that this will actually be approved to build, but this does open the gateway for the owners and their partners and developers to look at it and go, okay, here are plans. We're going to submit those plans to the appropriate bodies for approval or denial, and we're going to do the work to improve this, to maybe mitigate the floodplain, to deal with transportation issues, to deal with road interconnection issues, and all those sorts of things. And those bodies will look at those, and they might say yes, you've made appropriate plans. They might look at them and say no, those plans just really don't hold water. And just won't cut the mustard. And it's entirely possible that if that were the case, then they can go back and keep iterating until we find something that works there. Where I'm going with all of this long-winded way to say is that I understand people's concerns, and when people might freak out and go, "Oh my goodness, this is not good. I don't want this." It's the owner's land, and the system that we have set up is what it is. And this is a first step in many, many steps. So believe me, we will be following along closely for many reasons. One, so that we have things to talk about and you come join us every Monday on At Lafayette Live. And two, because I am a realtor and would love to help you purchase a home. Being aware of new homes that are coming to the area are something that I spend a lot of time on. So go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and fill out the form if you would like to buy or sell a home here in the Greater Lafayette area. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on. I'm long-winded tonight. Imagine that. I didn't give my normal opening spiel of drop where you are from in the chat. A few people have already. You guys know the drill if you've watched before, but wherever you're watching from, welcome. Also at the Tippecanoe County, I try to say that too fast. Also before the Tippecanoe County Commissioners this morning was IU Health Arnett seeking rezoning to rezone from it's rezoning to medical. The existing zoning was small business or residential. I should know this. It's been a crazy afternoon. I kept meaning to sit down and do more prep for the show in addition to the prep I had did earlier. But, sometimes it just goes that way. But that rezoning request was to rezone it to medical use so that obviously you can put a hospital somewhere that is zoned for medical use. That passed 3-0 before the county commissioners this morning. So IU Health can move along with their planning process and getting all of the approvals that they need for things like site grading and drainage and road studies and all of that fun stuff that comes along with development. And it's just one of 4 hospitals that are coming here to the area, if I didn't mention that. Continuing on, and while I continue on, you guys go hit the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the videos that we put out here on At Lafayette Live. Well, on the Lafayette Reel and At Lafayette Live every Monday. Another, I guess high rise is the right answer. It feels kind of odd to call a 6 or 8 story building a high rise, but indeed that is what we have here in the Greater Lafayette area. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stories on this one. Another one down on South River Road from Tomish developers got a recommendation for a rezone on 1.4 acres for the development called Alta Vida. That's going to be along South River Road between Williams and Wood Street. Going to have 187 units, 482 beds, a 205 space parking garage with up to just under 6,000 feet of commercial and retail space. So APC approved it. And unfortunately, West Lafayette City Council is talking right now. As a matter of fact, I was tuned in watching them up until we went on the air this evening, but they had not yet gotten to the vote on this issue. But I'm fairly certain that this one will actually go forward. But here's what the building is going to look like. Looks like a high-rise apartment building, right? And they all might have some slight architectural flair attached to them, but I think a lot of them look rather similar for what's been going up here in the area. But I will come back to you later this month with some updates on if West Lafayette approved that and when we can look for shovels in the ground. But I have a feeling that the approval will be yes, and shovels in the ground will be sometime in the spring. Related to that, and also before the West Lafayette City Council, right now, as we speak, is that there is a land use plan for the New Chauncey neighborhood, which is kind of the neighborhood that starts at State Street at 26, and this is where the Chauncey Annex across the street from the old Chauncey Mall is planned to go up. And again, West Lafayette City Council is looking at that approval tonight, possibly. But related to that, this neighborhood that kind of starts there and goes up north to just around, the northern boundary is somewhere around Rossade, just a little south. I didn't put the map up here, but anyway, there's a land use plan for that. And I'm probably going to say his name wrong, but one of the West Lafayette City Council members, Rabita Rajkarnakar from District 2, is bringing up to the City Council that they would like the Area Plan Commission to revisit this land use plan for the New Chauncey neighborhood. And his point is good, that things have changed and developed since the plan was originally written 12 years ago in 2013. We have a lot of issues in front of us, rental housing in general, in the general Purdue area, rental housing in the Greater Lafayette area, just in general. People that are using homes as their primary residence. The need for rental housing for the booming student population at Purdue University, which is up to around 54,000, approaching 55,000. So, there's a lot of things that are driving these conversations. Neighbors want to feel like they're living in a neighborhood. Students and the Purdue community need places to live, and it's a push-pull relationship there. So West Lafayette is probably going to have a look at revising. I was going to say re-looking at, but revising sounds much better. The land use plan for the new Chauncey neighborhood. Again, they're speaking about that probably right about now, or certainly this evening. So we'll have some updates for that on when that will go forward. But be looking forward to a new land use plan for the new Chauncey neighborhood, just to the east of Purdue University. And if you'd like to live in the new Chauncey neighborhood or anywhere else here in West Lafayette or the Greater Lafayette area, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube, because I am Jeff Gooch with the Russell Company powered by At Properties. I'd love to be your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. So go fill out the form and let's chat and work together. And while you're doing that, courting a lot of controversy, SK Hynix and Purdue Research Foundation have asked the judge in the residents' cases against them for summary judgment and to dismiss the cases. There was a hearing scheduled for today just to do some business. I didn't hear any updates on that today, but the motion basically says they did everything they were supposed to, that they gave all the notices, they looked everybody up, they sent the notices, they posted the signs to the appropriate people, that they went through the process, that APC and West Lafayette City Council followed the law and looked at things that they were supposed to be looking at, and things like basketball game and spring breaks and things like that don't play into those legal choices. So more to come on that. I'm not a legal expert. You'll hear me say a lot of, I'm not a, followed by fill in the blank. I am not a legal expert. I have no idea if this one's going anywhere or not. But believe me, we will be following up on that. And to make sure that you're following up on it, hit the like and subscribe buttons so that you don't miss any updates here on the Lafayette Reel, and every Monday at 7 o'clock on At Lafayette Live. Next bit of news. Really hate that it's opening. My window's always in the wrong window, always in the wrong monitor. Hey, if you're a Mac expert, tell me how to fix that. Have you ever heard of the Brown Street condos? If you're a realtor in Lafayette, you have. If you're somebody who's thought about buying a house for a student at Purdue University, you've heard of them. They're what have become an absolutely terrible group of buildings over behind Levy Plaza, over where all of the new redevelopment is going on in the Levy area. And anytime somebody has come to me saying, hey, Jeff, I'd like to buy one that's for sale, I say, sure, we can go look at it, but here's what you need to know. Previous owners and management did not do a good job taking care of the place. There are 148 units. The current owners, the current owners association, just settled a bill for city sewer service that dates back a few years of $284,000. Yeah, you heard me. But what's also interesting about this is that Orloff Property Management, and I knew they were on a buying spree. I didn't realize what a buying spree they were on, but they put this out there. They have purchased 110 of the 148 condos. So, 120, 150, somewhere around 70%, 75% are owned by the management company. They are, and it's always been this way, that they're running them as rentals. So only 38 are owned by individuals. I mean, and by individuals, it can also be investors. It doesn't necessarily mean it's their primary residence or even their secondary residence. But anyway, where we're going with this is that Orloff has said that they're doing some work, exterior work, and getting um, interiors taken care of, as well as they're needed, doing some work on the roof, weatherproofing, taking care of siding, repaving parking lots. So hopefully this place, the Brown Street condos, will look a lot better. But Chad Spitznagel, who is West Lafayette's housing director, said that the complex had a, quote, pretty big list, unquote, of problems in their last rental inspection just about a year ago, back in 2024. Quote, it's a wreck, unquote. And we thank Dave Bangerton, based in Lafayette, for that quote from Spitznagel. That's from Chad. That's a fantastic quote. I know that the city would like these to kind of go away, shove them over with a bulldozer, and fold this area into the redevelopment that's happening down there. If I were a betting man, I would say that that's going to happen. Somebody will come along to Orloff and make a deal. Or maybe Orloff will be the developer themselves and shove these guys over and build something. And I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow, but as the first phase of the development of the Levy Plaza redevelopment wraps up, as Rambler gets online and they start moving towards the river, that's going to start being something that they look at. We're starting to look at Levy Plaza and what's going to go there. I think that's eventually going to get shoved over, and something new will go there. And then you're at Brown Street. So I think that we're a handful of years away at most from something happening to those Brown Street condos. I think that's good news. I'm all for development down there on the riverfront. I would really, really like the riverfront in Lafayette and West Lafayette to continue to develop and to be a place that is accessible, easily accessible to everybody for a multitude of uses. I'd love to see a concert venue down there. Love the walking trails, but also, like the idea of like a river walk, paved area, restaurants, all that's, development. We have lots of the areas of the Wabash, and indeed the Tippecanoe and the Wildcat that are natural in that area. So I think the development is good, and I think that these Brown Street condos are like a domino to fall in that development process. And it's not decades off. This development has been happening for years, for decades now, and it's in a decade or less, I would guesstimate. So there you go. That is the wrap on development news, but we're going to keep going. That's not the end of the show. And like I said, West Lafayette City Council is meeting right now, as indeed Lafayette City Council is also meeting right now. And not to say that Lafayette City Council doesn't have anything that I want to talk about or cover, but just didn't make it into tonight's show. That's part of the fun things about living here in the Greater Lafayette area, is that there is so much going on. Are we New York? No, of course not. But for a city our size, for a metro area our size, we're pretty busy people. There's quite a lot going on. So it's fun to keep up with that. It's fun to talk about it and bring it to you guys every week. So a lot more to come on that front. But today, at this point, we're going to take a turn into some home tours. And while I'm talking about what these home tours are, if you'd like to go see any of these homes yourselves, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube and fill out the form, and I'd happily go take you on a tour of any of these 3 homes or any other home here in the Greater Lafayette area that interests you. But when we do these home tours, I always have some sort of theme. I always try to have some sort of theme that ties them together. There are nights where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what ties them together, but I just thought they were cool homes, and that's what ties them together. But tonight there is a theme, and these are 3 South Side homes. And I was actually thinking as I went through the inventory of homes that I wanted to talk about, what should I talk about? It's always fun to talk about the $1 million homes because those are cool to look at. They're fun. Obviously not everybody can buy them, but they do make for fun conversation. So as I was going through, there are no new $1 million homes on the market. The ones that have been sitting on the market have been on the market for a while in most cases now, and we've looked at a good number of them. We talk a lot about walkable to Purdue, and that is indeed important and something for a concern of a lot of our audience. Something that's close to Purdue, whether that's walkable or bus, although bus is what it is these days. Close to Columbian Park is one of my favorites, with a pool, with land, lake life, all these sorts of things. Then I realized, you know what? For all the tours that we have done, I have never done one that is homes on the south side of Lafayette. And that is bad on me because the south side of Lafayette is really the developing side of the area. Yes, we've been talking a lot about West Lafayette and SK Hynix and all the development that's happening there. And some development is maybe not going to shift over that way, but also, go in tandem and parallel with the south side. So I thought, let's look at some homes on the south side. Just as our theme, and the south side is really kind of a really, really large area. Where do you draw the line? Is it south of 26? That's probably not. That's downtown Columbian Park. Do you draw it at Ortman? Do you draw it at Veterans Memorial? Well, I'm not worried about exactly where we're drawing it. Just south side is where I'm leaving it at right now. So let's go check these out. 3 homes on the south side of Lafayette, and we begin with this one, 1007 Waterstone Drive. And I just got done talking about what does south side mean. So let's place this one on the map for what south side means in this particular case. So this one is basically as close to Veterans Memorial Parkway as you can get and still be in a neighborhood. Not quite sure that was a great flowing thought, but there you go. Veterans Memorial Parkway here. So for those that have been around for a while, you might know it better as 350 South. That is 3.5 miles south of the zero line, which is 26 going through the middle of Lafayette. So it's exactly 3.5 miles down 9th Street or 18th Street from 26. You can see Veterans Memorial Parkway. It's literally 1 block off of Veterans Memorial. The Southside Walmart is over here. Sorry, over here. The Southside Meijer is going to be over here. All sorts of shopping and dining here along Veterans Memorial, and we'll just zoom out just a touch here. It is super close to Purdue University because a 2-minute blast down to 231, and you can zip into either River Road to get to the east side of campus, or over here to the west side of campus. I mean, it's a 10-15 minute drive into Purdue University. So you get the growing south side while also getting connection to the rest of town. This one, as I said, 1007 Waterstone Drive in Lafayette. This is 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,350 square feet on 1/3 of an acre. It was built in 1999, so it's about 26 years old. Lovely established trees there in the front, moving into the vaulted ceiling living room, and yeah, you can definitely tell that it is a product of its times. You kind of got the blonde wood and the carpet. You got the honey oak cabinets. I think the cabinets actually and countertops, maybe they haven't been upgraded. kitchen with the island. And so this was before the rage of all the great rooms. So it's next door, but it's not all just one gigantic room. You know, the kitchen is eat-in with the fireplace there. There is the dining room with tray ceilings and the hardwood floors. Again, the vaulted ceiling, lots of airy light. And we start moving into the bedrooms. Of course, start with the ensuite there. You can see the bath. It is the garden, is the Jetta, sorry, not garden, is the jetted tub. We haven't quite gotten to garden tub size yet, but still has the separate shower stall. Though that kind of ostentatious bathtub kind of came along just a handful of years later, 5, maybe up to 10 years later there. You got the obligatory shelf for things to catch dust up there. Head downstairs where you got your office or gym set up. You have a bar. I guess you can call it a wet bar because it backs onto the bathroom. Presented without commentary. I always giggle at these. Look at that shower sauna. That is quite something there. Lovely, lovely backyard, you know, enough room to get out and play and let the kids have a swing set, and, you know, without having to mow too much. Brand new Trex decking out there. Corner lot, so you feel like you have a little more elbow room than your typical lot. So that is 1007 Waterstone Drive on the south side of Lafayette. 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,350 square feet on a third of an acre. Currently listed for $525,000. If you'd like to go check that one out, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube. Fill out the form, and let's go check out a cool south side home together. Everybody doing all right? All right. Sorry about that. Moving on with our home tours of homes on the south side of Lafayette. Next up, we're going to look at 3905 Rush Grove Drive in Lafayette. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. Let's place this one on the map. It's really not that far. Just a little to the east of where we were just at. There we go. So we were just over here on Waterstone. I don't have my annotations up. Stand by. I need to fix that. I forgot that I didn't do this. All right. Here we go. Sorry about that. So here's the house on Rush Grove. Again, just off of 350 South. The Walmart right over here. The new Meijer going up right over here. State Road 26, a mere 3.5 miles up 18th, Concord, or 350. The mall right over here, and Purdue University, just a quick blast down Veterans Memorial and up to 31. 15-minute drive into Purdue University. 8-minute drive over to the mall. 10-minute drive tops to downtown Lafayette. So, you know, it's kind of funny. I was going to say central area. Like, in no way is South Lafayette central. It is very much south, but the highway department, area plan, the state, everybody has done just such a great job of maintaining the transportation network of roads in the area that it does keep things easily accessible even in the newly developing parts of town. So you can still be connected to Lafayette. But let's check this out. at 3905 Rush Grove Drive on the south side of Lafayette. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,416 square feet. On, I can't do that conversion. On a regular size lot. How does that sound? Built in 2011. So this one is only 14 years old. And we'll see some of the differences between about a decade in homes. But, you know, a 2-story with 2-car garage, brick clad. But this is the difference between like a home built in 1999 and a home built in 2011. The style difference is striking. Just that single decade went to this with these great vaulted ceilings and the open connections between rooms. Here we got the dining room on the left, and we have the den office on the right. That's a fairly typical layout for this. It's kind of a, in some ways, it's really kind of a modified foursquare in that, like, we've taken the foursquare and we've kind of bisected it with a hallway and divided it straight on into the living room with the window wall with the kitchen area to the right. Then we head upstairs for some reason and we check out the landing up above. Gives you that light open feel. Some old, probably original carpet that can stand to be replaced, but that's okay. You know, we're just checking out the bedrooms here. There's the ensuite with the tray ceiling. Again, a feature of a home of the period, looking down into the living room, great room area, and we see the wall dominated by windows on one side and the fireplace on another, leaving you scratching your head where to put the TV. And this is where I say, don't put the TV in this room. Make this the formal living room. Make this the area where you sit and talk and have community and family with each other, and go stick the TV in another room. That's what I would do, at least. But this is the beginning of the great room. You've got the arched divider into the living, into the dining and kitchen area. Well, into the eat-in, dining and kitchen area. Got the eat-in bar. Laundry room. And then we pop back to the bedrooms and bathrooms. I didn't pick the order of the pictures. Zipping through some pictures. The ensuite of the primary. You can see this is the beginning of the giant closet era built into the bathrooms. Some built-ins. Head downstairs to the pool room with the built-in bar. Make that a theater room. There you go. What I say about putting your TV downstairs. Wet bar with a interesting sink location there. Here's the choice. Utilities, of course. And the deck out back. So that is 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,416 square feet, 3905 Rush Grove Drive on the south side of Lafayette, currently listed for $534,000. And if you want to go check that one out, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's go tour a great home together. And I saved perhaps the most unique one of the group for last. I was going to say maybe best one. Best is not right. Unique is the right word. But we're going to move out a little further south to 430 South. Excuse me. This is 1800 East, 430 South. And we'll place this one on the map before we get going here. Wrong button. I got too many buttons in front of me. Here we go. This one is right on 430 South, which is not an unmajor county road, but also not a minor county road. I mean, it might be a minor county road in the definition, but a fairly busy county road. Where it is on the map. East 430 South, and you can see we got 9th Street, 18th Street, and Concord right here. So a quick 2-minute blast up to Veterans Memorial Parkway, and you're up at Walmart, the new Meijer coming to town. A 10-minute blast down any of those 3 roads gets you to downtown Lafayette, and then a 15-minute blast over to Veterans Memorial and 231 up to West Lafayette to the Purdue University campus. So again, the the south side of Lafayette, super connected, not a problem to get anywhere in town. So, but this one's a little more unique. I should not see that. This one's a little more unique. 1800 East 430 South in Lafayette, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,794 square feet on 2.22 acres. And this one has a shop / pole barn. So you get some acreage, you get a beautiful home, and you get a pretty amazing shop. So here is the front view. You can see the 2-car garage. There is the aerial view, and you'll see that there's and I said that kind of wrong. There's the 2-car garage plus the detached garage plus the shop over there. Yep, this is all part and parcel of what you are getting, and we will get to see the inside of the shop here in a moment. But you head into the entryway to the living room, and it's definitely got the great room set up. You'll see right here. Heads right into the kitchen. Gigantic. I can't overstate how big this island is in person. It is absolutely gigantic. You could hold a tennis match on it. It is so big. It's kind of got the French chateau cabinetry look to it. Got the farmhouse style sink, the rustic brick backsplash, KitchenAid gas stove with the pot filler. My wife might make me move there just for the pot filler. The built-in desk. She's probably laughing at me down the hallway right now. TV too high. Yes, that's my running joke. TVs don't go above the fireplace on the mantle. That is wrong. It is just wrong. But we've got the vaulted ceiling in the living room. It's the sunken living room. It's a step down into the living room. So not quite a conversation pit, but definitely a little more unique. We keep moving along one of the entryways, and then we move into the primary suite. Again, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths in this one. Beautifully done in the bathroom. I mean, you have, go back one. You have the large soaking tub and the shower, and it's a lot, but it doesn't feel like a lot. Some of these, they feel like a lot, and this one really kind of doesn't. This room has the window that looks out towards the back to the disconnected, detached, not disconnected, garage out back. Moving through the bedrooms, one regular looking bathroom. Of the 3 bathrooms, only one of them looks regular. One of them needs a new ceiling, but we're down in the basement now. And you can see the escape. I'm not a giant fan of that. Here we go, but we've moved to the shop. This shop is, I thought I had the shop size in front of me. 80 by 40. You can store a lot of things in here. You can put your boat, your RV, you can run a business out of here, fix cars, and it's got a finished office and shop in the corner. And then we moved to the 2-car attached garage, which has had the epoxied floor and the LED lights on the ceiling. And then we moved to the detached garage. So, I mean, you just got all of the garage space there. I'm sorry, that picture was actually not the detached garage. Yeah, it is, sorry. And the pergola, the deck out back. Just want to take one more look at the aerial shot here. This is what we're looking at. House, 32 by 24 detached garage back here, an 80 by 40 finished pole barn with electricity, an office, and a bathroom. For that, you get 5 bedrooms and 3 baths. It's 3,794 square feet on 2.22 acres. And it's a bargain to somebody at $749,900. So if you would like to check that out, go to thelafayettereal.com, fill out the form. It'll send me an email right away, and we can get to work, whether it's going to check out one of these 3 beautiful homes on the south side of Lafayette, whether it's finding a home for you anywhere else here in the Greater Lafayette area. If you need to sell your home here in the Greater Lafayette area so that you can downsize or upsize, right size, whatever your home needs are here in the Greater Lafayette area, I'd love to be your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. So please go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and let me know how we can work together. And the last thing I'll ask of you tonight is hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot to me that you guys are here every Monday tuning in and watching At Lafayette Live, and it would help us a lot with the YouTube algorithms if you went and hit that subscribe button. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Don't forget to join us again next week, Monday at 7 o'clock for At Lafayette Live. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Thanks for being here.